Hey, yo, what's up? You got the RZA right here, the Abbott, the chief producer of the Wu-Tang Clan. And the Wu-Tangers went on to sell 40 million records. I produced on records that probably reached the number of 80 million. Artists like Biggie Smalls, Kanye West, Jay-Z, I can go down the list. But the bottom line is I'm here right now to tell you that I went and collected some sounds from my library and put it into the Block sound pack, yo. Now the grit and the grind of the Wu-Tang slang banger can now enter your production, yo. So the RZA brings it to you live right here from the 36 Chambers, yo. Yeah. Kung Fu movies, shit, you know what I mean? I've always been a guy that's been kind of private about my music and what inspires me. But I've made a lot of records over the years. One of my favorite albums is called 36 Chambers, which was a real lo-fi, gritty album. And in composing this sound pack, I tried to add some of those elements that took me back to those gritty sounds of that 36 Chambers album. The cool thing about sound is that many artists find their sounds from different walks. Me, I found my sound from living in New York City, from riding in the subway trains, watching old Kung Fu movies. Just the grit of New York in the 80s and 90s had something special about it, and I tried to capture that sound in my music. In my sound pack, for instance, you hear the dirtiness of this particular sound to me reminds me of when you miss the train. You know what I mean? Like the train is far away, but you still hear it. We could take this same sound and move it all across the spectrum. Even when it's this low like that, that's like outside the club in New York, you know what I mean? One of the coolest things I would do with it was when we would do a song and you would hear a curse, like shame on the, you know what I mean, you mother, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't want to hear that. So we would do that instead of reversing the words backwards and all that. And when that was added to our music and when the radio would play it, it was kind of more exciting, I think, for young people when they heard them songs and they hear these sound effects. And not only you hear the lyrics and the music, but you also kind of get transformed somewhere else to this world of Kung Fu. I like that. You know, being a guy in New York and spending time in those movie theaters, you know, being transformed to a new location, you know, somewhere in China, whether it's into the Shaolin Temple or maybe to the hillsides where Ghostface Killer is hunting down his enemies. It was a way to escape for me, a way to escape my poverty, the hardships of the city. But being I was also a young artist in development, it kind of gave me a foundation and a platform to play with. But I think the coolest thing is that while some people only see what's in front of them, I had an attention span to see and hear. If you watch a movie like Psycho and you hear Bernard sound come in when the shower curtains move and the dun, dun, and the knife, and even the sound of the knife piercing the skin, though, to me, has a musical context. Music is sound, manipulated. And my favorite way of making music is taking noise, you know, taking something. This here, it's not your normal piccolo snare, really. When we was making a song called Blame the Ruckus, we took the snare and we put it in an elevator shaft and recorded it. And that gave us that, you know what I mean? So we try to emulate that in some of these sounds in the pack as well, getting sounds from, you know, putting them through certain processes or recording them a certain way. So something like that is basically the kick, snare, and this noise is just a noise. I mean, it's music, but it's not what they will call something from a scale. It's not a C note, D note, E note, F note, G note. No, it doesn't have to be tuned. It can be tuned, but like I said, this is just a So I can rap to that. You know what I mean? I master groove, I master slang, got the shit that make your brain go the bang. God dang, cause god dang, back that Wu-Tang. With this technology now, being able to have something like this in my pocket and be able to have the immediate fix of music. I mean, imagine that. I mean, I couldn't imagine that back then. I used to be on the planes in the old days, bored, wishing I had a drum machine or something, you know what I mean? I said. I'm really happy to expose some of my sounds to the public, and they could take it and they could recreate a whole new vibe and generation of it. You know, sometimes I do think when I listen to the radio and I listen to music, I do miss some of the grit. I miss some of the grit. This is my first sound pack. I'm striving to give more, but I think this puts a spoonful of grit back into it.